Greetings, pirates and privateers. Grim here, coming at you live from our little base out on the new desert world for the last of our tutorial sessions. We have started from the bottom, really. Started with the hover van over there for our first little vehicle. Once we were done with that, we moved on to the hedgehog over here. This is our first small vessel. Turned it into a big mining bitch. Those 4 mining lasers now make short work of any deposit. Couple extra CPUs on the back just to make sure that they can hang. Then we moved on to the big mining frigate up here that we can use to get around the universe on a whim. And last but not least, the base. Simple little outfit over here, made out of concrete. It's got a funky window on the front, medical bay in the front, plants growing out back, and then right over here is this nice big vehicle bay, underneath which is a CPU room. So if we decide to expand later on, we can throw more cores down there. It's well protected, couple of gun emplacements, just about everything you need, except a way to take out the Zirax installations. So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to build our very first hover tank. So I have taken the liberty of producing all the bits that we're going to need. So here's the starter hover vessel block. I've got 100 combat steel blocks. You need a lot of Savium for these. I've got the armored cockpit. I've got a shield generator, pentaxid tank, a couple of shield boosters, just the basic ones. 4 of the large hover pads, 2 fuel tanks, 1 advanced small generator, a detector, matter transceiver, ammo box, and container extensions for said ammo box because we want to make sure that we're not caught out. 10 engines that we can play around with placement. We're not going to need all 10, but it's never a bad idea to have, lots. 3 landing gear, because I've found that that's pretty much all you need. You're just setting it down on a flat and level surface. And 8, count them, 8 light railguns. We could have gone with medium or heavy railguns, but then you get into needing a lot more CPU. We might need more CPU in this one anyway. But for the time being, we're just going to go with the lights, and we're going to see how they fare up against smaller installations, Zirax towers and stuff with the gun on top, that kind of thing. Maybe move on to an oxygen depot and get some booty by the second episode of this. So we're going to connect up here. There we go, and I'm going to start popping bits in. Now let's see, I'm going to need the engines because they're going to be super important. I'm going to need the combat steel blocks, and then the armored cockpit, and then all the bits and bobs. Okay, let's start with this, and we'll get to the rest of that stuff later. Alright, so as before, we start with yield block configuration, and we're going to let that drop to the ground. And in the meantime, pick our cockpit. So we want to try and keep a low profile, but we don't want much in the way. Like this cockpit I like using on mining vessels and stuff. It's got a look to it. But it's a little thick, 335. This one over here, 326. So it's a little longer, but a little bit lower. Might go with this one. We'll see how that looks. Okay. So. Oh, it wants to be there. Okay. We'll start out with that on the ground. And let's see here. Retrieve blocks. I'll leave the core right where it is. And oh, that's what I was after. Flip the engine over, spin it. So You want front and back, side-to-side movement. You don't need the up and down in a hover tank. Not really going to matter. But we're going to start with the side-to-side here, with those two guys. And let's start filling in the middle. We will grab all the squishy bits here. So we're going to put our shield generator. We're going to put our fuel tanks. Advanced small generator. Things we want to keep nicely protected. Behind the cockpit. Yep, we got room for you. And room for you. And we'll worry about the ammo sort of second to last. Let's see here. Now first off, what do I want to put in there first? I think detector. I'm going to pop you right in behind the cockpit here. Now, we're going to build a skin on top of these, and we're going to build one on the bottom once we've been able to get this thing off the ground. And really protect all the little gubbins that we're going to be sticking in here. So, I'm going to go with, I think, shields first. And pop that in right behind the cockpit here. Might be able to build some armor up around the sides of it there. And then I'm going to take my fuel tanks. Go one per side. And then I'm going to take my generator. Put it back furthest. Actually, yeah, so you're going to go right at the back. And then we're going to do pentaxid tank. Actually, how big are these guys? You're just little. So, pentaxid tank. Yeah, that might actually work. So you go right there. Now, these guys, you have two different configurations. They are either a capacitor or a charger. So the capacitor makes your shields, your total shield strength bigger. The charger makes them recover faster. So we're going to do one of each. We're going to start with the capacitor on this side. And we're going to go charger on the other. So we've got a well-balanced little craft here. And now at the very back, we're going to go back to the engines. One there. One there. There's forward thrust. And reverse thrust. Alright, let's take a look at this thing. And we want to make sure, yeah, this is what I was worried about. So we haven't even put any guns on it yet. We're already over CPU. So, I'm going to run off to our little manufacturing bay here. I'm going to cook us up a little bit of CPU goodness. So we're on hover tank still, so maximum amount 2. I will grab 2 of those and 2 of those, because it looks like we're going to need some exotic stuff here. Platinum and optronic matrices and stuff like that for the bigger versions. In the meantime, though, we've got a basic look for our hover tank here, so we can start fleshing it out. Oh, I've still got a Wi-Fi to place. And that should be the last of the components. Now, I wonder... Pardon my God mode for a sec. I just want to take a look inside here. Yep. Wi-Fi goes right behind the core in the middle. And now we can start building out the armor around it. In the beginning, just going to go super cheap and symmetrical. Okay, that's actually an engine, so if we're going to remain at all faithful to roleplay-ish design, I might want to rethink these engines. So we're going to take these ones off. We'll figure out another place to put those. Okay, there's a little hole there. Might put the ammo container in there, actually. Where are we here? Let's grab you. Alright. Let's take a look here. You down on the bottom. And then we're going to make a layer over top of all of the good stuff here. That I might be able to mount our guns on when we're ready for the guns. So, let's see what kind of shapes we can pick for this. I'm gonna go with a ramp. There we go. And then we go cubes. Straight out. Because I want lots of shooty boom boom power. There we go. And we can put a final layer of armor around that once we get closer to shaping this thing. And already our little boat is starting to take shape. Now, what was I going to do here? Perhaps some sort of slope down. If I did the same thing, where are you? That's not looking too bad. Still looks pretty sporty. Wonder if that's actually the same. It is. Okay. I might be able to work a little bit of magic with this, because that is the same angle as our cockpit. So what do we stick in the corner here? I'll bet ya. Corners and connectors. Corner half B. How do you look? I need you laying down. So, boom. Boom. It's not bad looking. Let's see if we have any little corner bits that can go in there too. Nah, not that one. Corner small B, corner small C. Bet you that's the right one. There it is. Okay. Game can be finicky sometimes. Alright. Sort of super sleek looking. Now we're going to go back to normal stuff. Alright. Same thing over here. And we're going to go with you. Alright. And we've got the basic look of our hover tank here. Now, I'm going to go back to those engines, and I'm going to stick them up here. And we'll armor them in. Get them nice and protected. And that is basically a working hover tank sort of thing. Without the processing power in it yet, though. That's an issue. Yeah, that one kind of needs to be there, doesn't it? Okay. Might have to cut into the sides here and put the computer cores there. So, the ones that we've built, let's see if we actually have them yet. Output, 2 of the big ones, 2 of the little ones. Okay, perfect. So, these are 2 by 1 by 1. These are 1 by 1 by 1. So we need 3 on each side. And that looks exactly like what this is. Perfect. And core there. Core there. On there. And on there. Now the reason I went and I got all of these cooked up to begin with, let's take a look here again. So now we're at 16,000. So this is for upgradability, so that we don't have to worry about a whole bunch of stuff going forward. We can keep adding bigger guns, better shields, build it out a little bit more here and there, right? But the idea here is to get a quick and dirty vehicle up and running that can go take on POIs in the world. Let's see. Let's go back to a cube, and we'll finish that little bit of armor there. A little bit of armor there. And now we can start thinking about adding the hover pads. It is a hover vessel, so let's pop these on. Now these guys are big. That's okay, we can accommodate, and I think I might have just over-accommodated there. Blocked off where at least 2 of them should have gone. But that's okay. Happy little mistakes. What else we got? Don't need the other 2 engines. That's a little bit overkill. Get some of the combat steel blocks back in case we want to sculpt. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. Let's get some feet on this bird. Yeah. So, okay. We're putting 4 on just in case one of them gets blown off. You're still going to be able to drive out of the area. Okay, so now we need an extra layer of armor here. And let's do something fun like that. Back. And then a half block there. Just a little bit of extra armor there. deal with that there. Not even sure that I can. Time to get creative. Not you, you're too tall. Well, that was lucky. Alright, that's there. And we've sort of determined what the slant is going to be. For anywhere along this, yeah, if I go page up, that's too high. Yeah, there's got to be something in the middle there. What are you? Ramp connector? Nope, not that one. Okay. I'm not looking at this right. Nope. My brain's having a tough time wrapping around what I need to stick in that hole. Maybe it is one of these guys. Okay. Or maybe it's that exact piece. Huh. How about that? Okay, that was perfect. Let's go stick that on the other side. Notched D, so we need the other... Yep, there we go. Left and right. And that'll mean that all the way across here, we can go with a simple slope. Sorry, my brain was in don't want to work mode there for a while. Just head straight back with it, make a nice blocky appearance, and we have shielded most of the engines, and I think we can probably pull something out here to shield that hover engine. No, one of those. These guys. Yeah. A little half notch. Yeah, let's make it look like it needs to breathe a little bit. That'll work. Oh god, and what was the other one that I used for the front of this stupid thing? Let's go around the other side. Yeah, that little flat cut corner. Always the most fun part. Trying to figure out weird-ass geometry that your brain doesn't want to work with. Corners and connectors, that's where I found you. You. Boom. Oh yeah, when we get to the bottom of this thing, I'm just making it all flat and protecting the important squishy bits in the middle of the bottom there. So, let's see. Yeah, you know what? We're going to be taking a lot of fire from the front, and I would rather have some tougher stuff up front here to absorb all of the massive blasting that we're going to be taking right into the middle of our face. So there we go. It's nicely armored up, and armored cockpit out front. Body is pretty well coming together. I think we can do a couple of things back here. Cube for you, cube for you, cube for you. Straight across there. Straight across there. Those outrigger engines. And build a little armor box outside of. Everything else is super protected, but these have to be out here somewhere so that they can work in an RP fashion, don't you know? So, just going to go with thin walls for now. I might decide to change my mind later. But that's my prerogative. There we go. There. Got the super jetpack on today. Okay. And then for this little corner, because I like to be a persnickety bitch. Boy, that's going to be a bastard about it too, isn't it? Corners and connectors. There is a specific piece. Where are you? It's just a beam. Is it in cubes and ramps? Yes, yes it is. Ramp E. There we go. There. Come on. There we go. There. Some nice rounded little sort of nacelle jobbies hanging out there. Now, what are we doing about the... Oh yeah, we did the whole slanty side thing down there. Let's do that on this side. God damn, am I already out? Wow, okay. This thing takes a lot. Let's make some blocks, shall we? 10 more ought to do it for now. Check and see what I've got. Just one. Okay. Well, we can play with the railguns while those are cooking. So these suckers are interesting. Actually, let's take a look at them. So, in order to make them, you need some pretty nifty stuff. So if I go into the constructor here and hit the guns, that's our railgun there. Titanium electronics, computer, motor, cobalt alloy, advanced electronics, and power coil. And it takes the light railgun projectile, which is this one here, cobalt and iron. So these ones are simple to build. You can make them on your starting planet, and they are enough to get you through the door into most of the Zirax stuff that you're going to find on a starting planet. But we happen to be on a level 3 world here, meaning it's going to be a little tougher for us today. Okay? So, I have cooked up a whole ton of these bad boys. Well, I mean, when I say whole ton, specifically 8. And now, I'll find a proper place to place them. Yeah, those inner ones aren't going to work, are they? I could go with 6, 3, and 3. But I did cook up 8. So 3 and 3, and then 1 and 1 on the sides somehow. Outriggers, something. Doesn't matter, we can check it all out. Let's see. So I want to place it close to the back. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. Let's see how this looks. 4, 5, 6. I mean, not horrible. Because basically, it's just a weapons platform that we're after at this point. When we get the bigger battle rail guns, you can only put, I think, maximum 4 of the big guys on a hover vessel. So right now, this sucker is just about ready to take for a test drive before we armor up the belly. Yeah, we're going to need some more blocks for that. Meantime, let's take the ones that we did make. 22. And so ramp C. There we go. All nice and buttoned up. Basically covered from all angles. Yep. Now, we're going to go to F4 and we're going to go to hover vessel. Fuel. And we're going to pull from the base. Fuel in 02, did I have? I had a lot. Look at me thinking. Big brain stuff. Okay. That's just the same as the other side. I think everything is copacetic all the way around here. Yeah. Well, before we put the belly on it... Yep. So those guns went and kicked up our CPU quite a bit. If we used the bigger ones, probably even more. So for a starter hover tank, I think we're well within our means here. Power's on, doesn't blow up. Floats up nice and good. Oh, and she's nice and quick. Maneuverable. Which is the idea. You want to be... Ooh. There we go. Yeah, I wasn't quite set up with it. What I just did there, I hit View and couldn't see my ship, so I hit the Alt and then used the mouse wheel to scroll out because the camera was sitting right above it. Now I'm going to use page down so that I can see most of the vehicle. Now in this configuration, when I hit the Alt key again, it'll snap right back to there. And it allows me to keep an eye on the vehicle. Oh, it's beautiful. Nice and responsive. We can strategically run away without a problem. And dodge shots side to side. Excellent. Now, it doesn't have any lights on it, which is going to become a problem if we want to do anything in the dark. And we can probably fix that in a minute. Let me just Get her parked up here. There we go. And jump out with her hovering up in the air. Now we can work on that soft and squishy underbelly. Oop. Gotta reconnect here. Go back to base. The output box. We got 16 left. It's a good start. But I think I'm gonna crank a few more out just in case. Anything else that we can use? Not really, not right now. Okay. Let's go to blocks and bring another 10 just in case. Alright. Now, on the underside, we'll do the same thing as the top side, but we'll make it nice and skinny. So a ramp C is just about thick enough, I think. One there, one there, one there. Okay, and we will do the cube half. Perfect. That's got to go back to where, so that's where that starts. Because again, we're just protecting the jiggly bits underneath. We're not wasting any weight that we don't have to. I like how maneuverable this thing is right now. And I want to keep it that way. Alright. Oh, yeah, I am just a little bit shy on you guys. Alright, landing gear. Gear number 3. And again, something just kind of simple. I usually tend to go for the landing gear 1 folding because it's just simple and elegant and does what it says on the box. You never have to worry about it. So I think I'm going to go with that guy again today. And let's see where we can put you. Right underneath the engine. Yeah, there's one there. One there. And then one. Set back a bit so it doesn't get blown off by any latent fire. And there is our completed hover vessel. Let's see if I can crank out some ammo for it and we'll go shoot something. So, over here, and we will... What, 10 of you? I have to see how many that produces. I didn't even take a look. Ah, 20 rounds. That's enough for the girls I date. Let's go have a little look-see here. Yeah, because we're going to be shooting 8 rounds at a time, so I'll get like 2 shots off out of that 20 rounds. But it does tend to be really good for knocking on doors when you need to. Go to F4. We're going to go from the output to the hover vessel ammunition controller. Perfect. 40 rounds. Excellent. Here we are back in there. Now, I wonder what's around here that I could shoot at. Nothing in the dead of the night except these alien plant things. Let's try you. Alright. 3 shots to erase a tree. Not bad. And that is going to be that for the construction part. Where's my door? There it is. Yeah, this thing needs headlights. Maybe it's not quite it for the construction part. Let's put some lights on this thing. I think I've got the perfect spot for them, too. Yep, I do. And do we want to make them big, bright, annoying as fuck ones? Fucking of course we do. Alright, let's see here. We're just about done with... Oh, look at that. 140 rounds. We burned through 40 pretty quick, though, so you're going to go through a lot of railgun rounds when you're taking stuff out. But for now, let's see. Yeah, these guys. 2 of you. That's how she sits with the landing gear. And she's not a bad little craft. All business. We only put an ammo controller in her so that you can kick in the door, take out what you need to take out, and then come back with your capital ship to load it up with all the loot. This is not a loot transport, this is an ammunition transport for the guns. That's it. Alright, let's see here. I gotta reconnect, of course I do. There we go. Reconnected. 2 lights. Thank you. Hover vessel ammunition controller. You guys all go in there. And let's pop these suckers on, shall we? Yep, right underneath those guns. One there. One there. Ooh. Well, that's way better. Yep, 3 shots per tree. I didn't take on any pentaxid, so I don't have the shields on, but I have a feeling they're going to work out pretty good. There you have it, folks. Took about 45 minutes, and we built a serviceable hover tank that is suitably armed and armored for taking on Zirax encampments. In the next episode, I'm going to throw a cone of paint on her, and we are going to go out and play. Till then, this is Grim, signing off.